can we all gather here, because no Srinivasa's party can be complete without some interesting and cerebral entertainment. Let you all gather.
And I still remember the day when he took my interview in 1991, and he asked me a question, not in chemical engineering, but in mathematics. Okay? And the people who worked with him during those days, who worked on the configuration of Reliance Jamnagar refinery, many of them are here. And there are also lots of people who worked with me during different phases of my life. Okay? They all have come here, and they all heard of Mr. Setlur, because most of the people who have worked for Mr. Setlur keep talking about him and what all things that he taught us. So we want to start by paying tribute to the great man who taught us so many things. He used to talk not just about refinery or a technology or something. Although he used to be a tough taskmaster, but he had the time to discuss politics to economics to a lot of things. And many of the guys with whom I work, and when I talk about every subject, it is thanks to what I learned from Mr. Setlur, that one has to know everything about every area. Okay, one thing that all of us can learn and should learn from him, at the age of 83, okay, Mr. Setlur is so active and so agile, okay, that all of us should learn that as long as we live, we need to keep ourselves mentally active so that physically, automatically we will become agile. And I still remember the day last year when we had the first get-together. Mr. Setlur came, and for 3 hours he did not even get tempted to sit at the age of 82. Okay, and this is something which really impressed all of us. It is besides all that he taught us, and you're going to see what some of the people are going to have said about Mr. Setlur. So we'll start with small introduction about his life. We want you to come here. Mr. Setlur had a career of 61 years. I'm sure, he's still working at the age of 82. Okay, he works for Reliance. He's extremely passionate about his work, and he's ready to learn any new technology at his age. Okay, I still remember in the early 90s, when email and other things got introduced, the rest of his colleagues were not ready to learn as fast as he learned, but he used to be even ahead of times. Many of us had done linear programming and optimization during those days, and thanks to Mr. Setlur's initiative. And I don't believe that anybody else, any of his contemporaries were as efficient in understanding a technology and trying to make people to implement it. Mr. Setlur is the man, he is the visionary, and he is a great guru for all of us. This is the day that we would like to pay tribute to him. Mr. Setlur was born in 1933. He is the second of the 4 sons. And this is a school where he went, St. Andrew's School, Bandra. Is that right? This is something which I would like everybody to know and understand, that even at the age of 11, Mr. Setlur started selling things, okay? And his concepts of economics are absolutely fabulous. Okay, it is because of what he had done during his very young age. He was very determined. He used to sell whatever he was selling even during the riots, and that wherewithal you can see him even today in any action that he does. And this is the area, probably King Circle, where his family owned a shop, butter shop. Mr. Setlur was the gold medalist from UDCT. Okay, I know I've seen a lot of gold medalists, but they are absolutely class apart. You know, the kind of understanding and learning that they have is, here is Dr. Maitra. I know he is the gold medalist from IIT Bombay, and they're absolutely class apart, and we are proud to have him here. He's from the first batch of 1955, and he was the university topper. Yeah, next. Mr. Setlur has a US patent and on the process of reducing total sulfur from content of class of gases. This is something which is used in every refinery and in the world. And he was definitely a creative genius at his very early stages of life. The professional life is something which he became managing director of one of the oil companies in India at the age of 40. I don't think I have ever come across anybody who has become CMD of a public sector oil company at the age of 40. He was specially invited by Indira Gandhi to reverse the brain drain. He worked for Shell after graduating, he worked for Shell from 1955 to 73 for 18 years, and he was a group leader. He worked in different parts of the world. UK, Holland, Germany, Philippines and Ireland. Then 1973 he was invited to take over Bongaigaon refineries and petrochemicals. There is a story behind this. This was the first refinery and petrochemical. IPCL, which was the petrochemical giant, was refusing to take responsibility for this because it was refinery. Indian Oil, which had operating oil refineries, they were refusing to take this because it had petrochemicals. Then Mr. Setlur was the first man who came and said that he took over the entire thing, and he dealt with it during the Assam agitation. It is not a small thing to handle an organization and oil refinery during the peak of Assam agitation. After that, from 1980 to 1989, he was a consultant to Ministry of Petroleum. He started the energy cells. Today, when the crude oil prices touch $100 per barrel or $140 per barrel, whatever, the entire world screams about the fuel and loss, how much is the money that they're losing. And this concept he started in early 1980s in the Indian industry. Then he joined Reliance in 1989, and he was made the director of Reliance Petroleum in 1992, and he was the director for 10 years from 1992 to 2002. And he has still been with Reliance for the last 26 years. He is not out batting with absolute passion and enthusiasm. And he definitely has a very bright and dynamic career. He worked under the legendary Dhirubhai Ambani, and of course also with Mr. Mukesh Ambani. Mr. Setlur is, he used to be, of course, little, sir, with your permission, can I say, you used to be little courteous sometimes. But we never knew this outer side of Mr. Setlur till I saw the pictures of his family. And this is with his son and his daughter. And Mr. Setlur is here. And Mr. Setlur's son, Colonel Rangaraj, works in Department of Anesthesia at the Command Hospital in Air Force, and his daughter Pushpa, she works for AT&T.
Let's find out how many people did not learn from Setlur. Hands on. Oh, very, very few. But basically, otherwise, except the people with their hands up, he was the guru. He had extreme discipline in schedules and meeting. Now, he was very sweet to all of us when he was giving assignments. But I won't say the next sentence. You can read it yourself.
So I just would like to add that while he is giving assignments, he used to look like what on the left side, all smiling. Okay. When he questions about why the delivery has not happened to the quality, you can see exactly how he used to look like on the other side.
In fact, a little bit more stern than that.
Yeah.
And usually he would give us a 30-day assignment, and he would say, I want a quality assignment, you can take 1 hour extra. Failure was not in his dictionary. And the reports are either right or wrong, no shades of grey.
He would actually, if the report is not good, he virtually throws it away on your face. That was his.
No, not on the face. It was in what is termed as a circular fly.
Yeah.
He also was very, very passionate about human resources, and so he hired from all the premier institutions. And his biggest quote is, he can accept, at Reliance I suppose, physically handicapped people, but not the other mentally handicapped.
It actually happened. You know, one of his colleagues had given him, sent him a recommendation about some guy. Okay, he interviewed him, and this is exactly what he wrote on the piece of paper and sent it back to the man who was his equal.
And a lot of people in Reliance, maybe not now, work till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And Setlur had a very simple philosophy. 9:30 to 6:30 is enough time to do not only day's work, but half the next day's work.
Mr. Setlur used to recruit only people from IIT and UDCT. Okay. And he really inspired all of us. Sir, today if we are meeting after 25 years or last 20 to 25 years, it's all because of you, because you set very high standards. We all work together for it. And because of which we are still a coherent team. Okay, we keep meeting every few months, which it all thanks to the leader, the guru that we had. Okay, but for his orientation, probably we wouldn't have been meeting.
He was basically, after he joined, he was the CMD of BRPL, Bongaigaon Refinery and Petrochemicals. He got so enamored by integrated thing that he said the first Jamnagar refinery will be an integrated refinery and petrochemicals. So, forerunner to the Reliance Jamnagar. Okay, I suppose some of you know there is a refinery in Jamnagar. But basically, the original refinery, he was the architect of configuration optimization. He also calculated capital expenses from first principles. It was an integrated refinery and petrochemicals. And incidentally, whatever Reliance is today, it's all because of roughly $3.5 billion of cash flow from Jamnagar.
Today, whatever refinery, the biggest profits that Reliance makes, everybody talks of one thing. All the people who operate also, they grudgingly say that it is thanks to the configuration that has been selected. And let me tell you, before jumping into the ocean, Mr. Setlur used to do so much of work before. We studied 875 configurations before we fixed on this. And sir, although we don't work for Reliance,